Athreos has returned. And I'm not talking about the buy a box promo from Theros Beyond Death. Athreos, God of Passage, is a 5/4 legendary enchantment creature god for 1 and an Orzhov. He's indestructible, and he's not a creature as long as his devotion to white and black is less than 7. Whenever another creature we control dies, whenever another creature we own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. Some videos ago, we did an initial deck tech of Athreos, God of Passage, and we paired it through a Shadowborn Apostle build. This video is going to serve as a way in which to upgrade that initial deck. So you can click on the link below. It's probably like here or somewhere over there. It's somewhere on the bottom there. You can click on the link and see the initial deck tech of Athreos, God of Passage here at MTG Burgeoning. Thank you for clicking on and viewing this video. Leave us some comments, give us some thumbs up, subscribe to us, let us know how we're doing, what can we do better, what do you want to see in a deck tech. Today, we're going to make some cuts, we're going to make some additions, and you're going to let me know what you think about them. So, here we go. Let's get these cards ready. All right, only a few. We've only got a half dozen changes here. So it's definitely not an extensive overhaul, which, let's be honest, is tough to do when nearly a third of the deck is Shadowborn Apostles, and more than a third of the deck are lands. So let's begin with cut number 1, Faith's Reward. 3 and a white instant, we return to the battlefield all permanent cards in our graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. So this card is going to come out, and in its place, hang on one second. Okay, much better. The clearing of the throat has to be annoying to hear over and over and over again, right? Okay, so replacing Faith's Reward is going to be, from Battle Bond, Thrilling Encore. For 4 and a black, and hopefully the focusing of the camera, there we go. For 4 and a black, we put onto the battlefield under our control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. I figured for the switching of 1 white to 1 black with the inclusion of a colorless mana to get all creatures into all graveyards under our control as opposed to just our own, I thought that was definitely worth the upgrade. So that's why Faith's Reward is out and Thrilling Encore is in. Next cut. It's one of our demons, the Indulgent Tormentor. For 3 and 2 black as a 5/3 flying demon. At the beginning of our upkeep, we draw a card unless target opponent sacrifices a creature or pays 3 life. The casting cost is nice, 3 and 2 black for a 5/3. Honestly, however, the drawing of the card is so situational, we draw fewer cards with him than we do. So he's out, and in his place is going to be someone that is going to be higher casting cost by 3 total mana, but the payoffs are so much better for us. And that's going to be Illus, the Broker of Blood. For 5 and 3 black, we have an 8/8 flying demon. We tap a black, pay 2 life, target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn, and whenever we lose life, we draw that many cards. So we can do this at any time. We can do it to Illus himself, and pretty much paying 1 life per 1 card and 1/2 black mana. I think he is such a better improvement over the Indulgent Tormentor. Okay, the next card up on the chopping block, not the chalking block. Next card up on the chopping block is card number 3, and that's going to be Bantu's Monument. How this benefits us is whenever we cast a creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and we gain 1 life. So that would be, the more often than not, the Shadowborn Apostles being cast, and then we drain each opponent for a life and then we gain a life. So you're asking, why is this coming out? This seems like it would be a game ender. And you're not wrong. It could be. However, when paired with Teysa Karlov, the Cruel Celebrant, for Orzhov, we get a 1/2 vampire that whenever she or another creature or planeswalker we control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and we gain 1 life. With Teysa in play, that's going to be 2 life per creature. And if you go through our deck tech and our play testing of Athreos, God of Passage, you'll see that the engine we want to create is one where we're sacrificing our apostles to the Phyrexian arena, recasting them, and if we have Teysa Karlov in play, each one of those apostles that goes to the graveyard is pinging each opponent for 2 life, and we're gaining 2 life. So that's why I believe the Cruel Celebrant is an upgrade over Bantu's Monument. The next card on our list to come out is an enchantment. 2 and 2 white, it's Field of Souls. And whenever a non-token creature is put into our graveyard from the battlefield, we put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying into play. This fits perfectly with what we want to do. It fits in perfectly for how we want to utilize and abuse, manipulate, however you want to frame it, with Teysa Karlov and what we're doing with Athreos and the Phyrexian, or I'm sorry, I said Phyrexian Arena earlier, Phyrexian Altar, my mistake. Phyrexian Altar, not Phyrexian Arena. So what's going to take the Field of Souls place? Well, we're going to go with the Pitiless Plunderer. Because with the Pitiless Plunderer, it's whenever another creature we control dies, not specifically a non-token creature. So whenever another creature we control dies, we get to create a treasure token. And if Teysa Karlov is in play, we're going to be doubling up our mana, doubling up our treasure tokens. I think this is an upgrade. It may not be as apparent as the previous 3 entries into this, but we're going to play test it out. We're going to see how the Pitiless Plunderer does without having the Field of Souls in there. Next up, this one hurts. I'm going to be honest, this one does hurt. But it makes sense because if we're taking out the Field of Souls over there, that's 1 less option to get our 1/1 white spirit creature tokens into play. So it gives us 1 less option to sacrifice 3 white creatures to exile a creature from the game. So Teysa Karlov, 1 in Orzhov for a 2/3 legendary creature. She's going to come out. This one hurts a little bit, so we're going to have to see if she has to be returned to Athreos after playtesting this deck when we make these upgrades and changes here. Taking Teysa's spot is going to be a Diabolic Intent. Pretty much for the purposes of this deck, with as many exposable creatures we have, this is acting as a second Demonic Tutor. We're tapping 1 in a black, we're sacrificing a creature, which most likely than not would be a Shatterborn Apostle, and we're searching our library for a card and putting it into our hand. I mean, aside from the sacrificing a creature, if we were to eliminate that line of text, what we're looking at is a second Demonic Tutor. That seems like a very good inclusion in any deck to me. All right, folks, and that brings us to our very last change for the deck. And this one I went back and forth on a lot. This was the toughest change for me to make. Aside from bringing out Teysa and putting in the Diabolic Intent, this was the switch that was the toughest for me. And the best way I can sum it up is we are exchanging 1 win condition for a better one. And what's coming out is Debt to the Deathless. For X and 2 Orzhovs, that's 2 white and 2 black, as a sorcery, each opponent will lose 2 times X life, and we gain life equal to the life lost this way. With all of the mana that we can potentially generate with this deck, this is a game ender. This gives us the ability to just outright win the game free of a counterspell. Unfortunately, with counterspells, for our deck, for an Orzhov deck, recursion from the graveyard, repeatability, it's tough. Death to the Deathless is one of my favorite cards. It's a game ender. It really is. And after play testing with this deck after the upgrades, it could end up getting put back in for one of the cards that we're adding. We're not sure about that yet, but we're going to see. Taking Death to the Deathless's spot in the deck is going to be Sir Conrad the Grim. For 3 and 2 black, yes, he's not a vampire. No, he's not a vampire. Yes, he's not a demon. No, he's not a demon. He's a human knight, and whenever another creature dies, which, let's be honest, this is what this deck is about, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. For 1 and a black, each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. So we have built into this card a way in which to mill cards from the top of the library with all of the extra mana that we could generate with the Athreos God of Passage deck. And this could act as a game winner. Will it act as a better game winner than Death to the Deathless? I don't know. This one we build up to for 1 grand spell and then end the game. This one, we keep it in play, we bang it around a little bit, and then we see what ends up happening when we can get our engine going full maximum overdrive. Some controversial picks here, folks. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Do you agree with any of these changes? Would you make any different changes? Would you make no changes? Let me know in the comment section, folks. Burgeoning out.